Hi besties, what's up? My name is Mackenzie and welcome to my channel and welcome to my February wrap-up. So I would like to first of all say I am so sorry that they're coming very late into the year. I was hoping to keep up on them, but alas, I have not done that. So, yeah, we're just gonna try our best to keep up with stuff, but this year has just been a lot for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of us have been in reading slumps and creativity slumps and just life slumps in general. So I apologize for that, but hopefully this is the start of me staying on top of things. I will also give you a disclaimer. You're probably gonna hear my kid make noise. She's a year and a half. She's a year and a half. I know you aren't a year and a half. I'm sorry. She's almost 13 months old. By the time you see this, she'll probably be 13 months. But she just learned how to walk and she's all over the place. All right, there's probably, I don't know, we'll see if I can maybe if I scooch, because I'm gonna have to edit in all the covers anyways. So we're gonna start the video here. I'm hoping that my baby will stay calm enough to let me do this because we move the desk too much and the camera's gonna start shaking. I also am on a time crunch. I have like an hour and a half, so an hour. I have an hour to film this, so hopefully I can get that done. Piggy, piggy, piggies. All right. As always, if you guys want to know what I'm reading when I'm reading it and know when I'm finishing stuff, I will link my Instagram, my Goodreads, my story graph all down below. So with all that being said, let's just get into it. Hopefully I can figure out. Sorry, I feel like I'm out of focus. There we go. Okay, hopefully that's better. For some reason, my camera always focuses on everything else besides me, but all right. The first book that I managed to finish in February was Powerful by Lauren Roberts. If you do not know, this is the second book in the Powerless trilogy by her, or I guess it's like the novella in between books 1 and 2. And in this one, we follow one of the side characters from Powerless, and we kind of get to see what she's up to while Peyton is in the castle and competing in the trials and stuff like that. And I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I will say arguably this book is much more well crafted than Powerless was. I think that Lauren Roberts really honed her talent for writing. In Powerful, the writing was much cleaner. Her prose was so much better. It was more beautiful. I really liked it. I will say I did rate this book 3.75 as opposed to the 4-star that I gave Powerless, and the only reason for that is I had gaslit myself into believing that what happened at the end of Powerless was going to be kind of like redacted in a sense in Powerful, and of course it was not, because that wasn't going to happen. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed in that, I'm gonna be honest. I thought that we were gonna get like, not necessarily like a different ending, but Lauren Roberts was gonna pull a 180 on us, and unfortunately she did not. But yeah, I definitely think that the writing in this stepped up quite a bit from the writing in Powerless. I'm very excited to see what she does with Reckless. Next, we did a little bit of rereading, if you will. If you guys are interested, I have a reading vlog of me getting out of a reading slump that I would like to post. I obviously filmed it in February, but I still really want to post it. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. But the first book I read in that video was Fangs by Sarah Anderson. And it's a reread. I loved it. This is the 3rd or 4th time I've read Fangs. And like I said, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Sorry, Oakley hit the camera. Anyways, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. If you don't know, this book follows Elsie and Jimmy, and it's basically snapshots of their lives as they fall in love. Elsie is a vampire, Jimmy is a werewolf. This one is Infinity Stars for me. They Can Never Make Me Hate It. I don't know who they is, but Fangs, They Can Never Make Me Hate You. I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. And then I reread Archer's Voice by Me Sheridan. If you don't know, this book follows our main character. I forgot her name. Bree. Is her name Bree? I think her name is Bree. Let me check. Bree. This book follows our main character named Bree, and she has had a pretty rough life up to the point that we meet her in Archer's Voice. She is moving away to the small town to kind of get away from some trauma that she has been living through the past few months. And she has a very unfortunate meet with kind of like the town's recluse, Archer. She ends up, I believe her paper bag ends up ripping and all of the contents of it end up spilling out, and he helps her pick it up. And she's very confused confused on to why he won't talk to her, but I don't know, it just kind of goes from there. It's their love story. I will say, it's so funny because I don't remember the plot twist in this book. I feel like I must have stopped it at like with an hour left of the book or something, because when I read it this second time, it was just heart-wrenching. It made me sob. I'm pretty sure like I posted a story on Instagram. I'll have to find it. And I was literally sobbing uncontrollably.
Emotional damage. You want some therapy?
And I believe I finished this like in the middle of the night while I was at my parents' house, because Stephen was on call or on rotation at the firehouse or fire station, I mean. So yeah, it emotionally destroyed me. I really liked it. I will say, like, I did rate this book 5 stars, and I do believe that it deserves 5 stars. I will say I can understand a lot of people's gripes with it, like, yeah, and it was a lot harder of a read than I remember it being, so I'm glad that I reread it. It stabbed me right through the chest, and yeah, I think that was kind of like the reaction from it that I was looking for, so very happy that I read that. And then I read Snowed In by Erin Branscombe. Okay, let's get into this book. Let's get into it. This book follows our 2 main characters, Hank and Bo and Holly. Holly is actually in this very interesting situation at the very beginning of the book. She has been a surrogate mother for this family for the past like 6-7 months, and all of a sudden one day while she's at work, she finds out that the surrogate parents unfortunately have passed away in a very tragic accident, and they don't have any family members who are willing to take this baby from her. So she goes from not planning on becoming a mother anytime soon, not really like paying attention to all the stuff that's going on as far as like listening to the heartbeat and stuff. She goes from realizing that like she can't be indifferent and pretend that the baby's not hers anymore, because she does not want this baby to have to go up into adoption like she had to. And in enters Bo and Hank. Hank is Bo's brother, but Bo is the main love interest in this book, and they have recently bought Holly's parents' pizza shop. And Holly is, now that she's trying to provide for this baby, she's trying to convince the brothers to please sell back her family's pizza shop to her so that she can make the life that she's always wanted, because she's always wanted to own this restaurant. Her parents sold it right out from under her without even talking to her about it, because they felt like they didn't want her to live the life that they had to lead for so many years of their lives. And yeah, it just kind of goes from there. This book pisses me off so bad. This is going to be, and like arguably, yeah, this book is the one that has pissed me off the most this year. So we go this whole book. Bo convincing Holly that like this is what he wants. Like he wants her to be a partner in the business. He wants to be in her life. He wants to be like life partners, not necessarily romantically or anything, but he's like, I'm willing to let you move in with me. I will help you raise this baby. I want to be in your life forever, in like regardless of how that all pans out, romantically or in a friendship way, I don't care. I want to be in your life forever. And he goes this whole book telling her and convincing her of it, and then as soon as she says, okay, you know what, you're right, like I've been silly this whole time, like that's what I want it all with you. I even want to have our own kids together someday. It immediately, like, the tables turned. And it pissed me off so much, because the whole book, Bo had been confident in what he wanted. He hadn't been like insecure or anything, and then something turns up and it causes the third act conflict, not in the way that I thought it would go, if I'm being honest, and it pissed me off so bad. And then there's another thing. There was what I am assuming was supposed to be the literal main conflict of the book, reduced to a literal throwaway line that was never referenced for the rest of the book, and I was literally so angry. Like, first of all, you have the, like, not saying that all third act conflicts are, like, necessary, right? But you have the most unnecessary third act conflict, and then you have this throwaway line that I believe was supposed to be the third act conflict that didn't end up meaning anything, even though it was a very big thing. I obviously am not going to tell you what that is, but it was a very, very big thing that was alluded to, and then just to get, like, no resolution on that is a little bit stupid. So I was pretty pissed at that. So I believe I rated this book, let me check, because I can't remember. I believe I rated it like 3 stars. Yeah, I rated it 3 stars. That lowered it 1.5 to 2 stars for me. I was so angry, so angry. It was a little bit ridiculous, I will be honest, but that is my truth. Oh, There we go. But that is my truth. Like, I was so mad. Anyways, let's continue. Next we have Brielle and Bear by Salome Doku, I believe is how you say their last name. I was so kindly gifted an arc of this through NetGalley, or given an arc through NetGalley for this book. Anyways, I was very excited about it. I originally heard about it from Jody over at Vanilla Moon's channel. She talked about it in like one of her December videos, I believe. And it must have come out in Australia before it came out in the States, because she had like a physical copy of it, and I had been waiting for it. And when I found out it was on NetGalley, I pushed like enter really quick. However, so this book obviously follows Brielle and Bear. Brielle is kind of like your typical like shy, nerdy girl, and she helps Bear kind of like with his grades, and I believe she helps him work on papers and stuff. And it feels like we kind of jumped in to the middle of a book that should have had at least like 20 pages before it actually started, because I feel like there were a lot of things that were left that we were supposed to know but that we weren't privy to. The other thing is, like, near like the middle to the end of the book, I mean, there were so many references and like so many things happening that it was like, I feel like we're skipping necessary scenes that we have to see in order to have the full context before the scene, and that just did not happen, unfortunately. I rated it 3 stars. Like I said, I was really disappointed. I honestly thought this was going to be at least 4 stars, so the fact that that didn't happen is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. I'm still glad that I picked it up and read it, but yeah, definitely a little bit underwhelming. Then we have the last book that I read in my rereading to get out of a reading slump video, The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. God tier book for me. I love this book so much. It is middle grade, so just be aware of that. But in The Lightning Thief, we are following Percy Jackson, and he has always had a string of bad luck that has followed him. And it really comes to a head one day when his algebra teacher literally turns into a monster in front of him and he kills her. But the real kicker is everybody who saw that incident occur is now gaslighting him and saying, that teacher never existed, you don't know what you're talking about, like, never happened. So he ends up going a little bit crazy. He starts self-sabotaging and he gets kicked out of the school. And that's when he finds out that he is actually a demigod, and these monsters have been following him and trying to kill him because it is assumed that he stole something very important from Zeus, the god of lightning. Zeus is the god of lightning, right? Anyways, so he ends up going to Half-Blood Hill with a bunch of other demigods, and he ends up going on this adventure to try to find out who stole this lightning bolt and how to get it back. And I love this book with my whole heart. It is just, I love this middle grade. This is one of the only middle grades that I will reread over and over and over again, and I feel like I will never get sick of it. I just love it. I think it is perfect. I love everything that I've read by Rick Riordan. I actually reread this book so I could continue on with the series. I have yet to do that, but I would like to eventually. So I'm very glad I reread that as well. And the last book I read in February was Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This book follows our main character, DM. And sorry, if it wasn't obvious, I gave The Lightning Thief 5 stars. I loved it so much. I raised it up from a 4.5 to 5 because I just feel like, and I know in my heart that it deserves 5 stars. So anyways, back to Spark. Sorry. Spark of the Everflame follows DM, and she has been a healer with her mom for as long as she can remember. However, one night when they are on their way home, I believe, from healing a client, she loses track of her mom, and when she ends up finding her, she sees her mom in a dark alleyway with this mysterious guy that she's never seen before. And right when she's about to figure out what they are talking about, she gets distracted and her mom disappears, and they haven't heard from her for literal years at this point, but she's been searching for her basically the whole time she's been gone. And yeah, we kind of just like, we go from there. There are like a bunch of antics. She has to like infiltrate the palace because she is pretty sure that a couple people in the palace have information on where her mom is that they aren't giving to her. And this book, unfortunately, was another letdown for me. I'm thinking it might have been right book, wrong time, because if you don't know, which you probably don't because I don't think I posted this vlog, but this was the first book I started in 2025, and I don't know if the fact that it literally pretty much almost took me till the beginning of March to finish, I don't know if that is what hindered my enjoyment of it, but I do know that there was one character in here that really hindered my enjoyment. It was Henry. He is one of the love interests in this book, and I literally hate him with my whole entire being, and The fact that I had to read about him really pissed me off. So I don't know if like that's the main reason, but yeah, unfortunately I just did not end up loving Spark like I thought I would. I will give Glow of the Everflame a chance, but if I don't like that one, I'm probably just gonna haul those 2 books because I do own Spark physically. So yeah, that is it for February. As you can tell, it was kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like me, if you like my face, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see my face again, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified every time I post a new video, honestly, I'd follow me on Instagram. That is where you're going to get all the first updates. But if you don't have an Instagram, hit the notification bell, cross your fingers, hope that it works. And with all that being said, I will talk to all of you in my next video very, very soon. Bye, everyone.
When you're not here, the sun don't shine. When you're not near, I don't feel like I do when you're with me.
Peep that these are literally none of the books that I read, but it's okay. No one needs to know.